I'm just going to keep it rolling.
It's
and do
beginning
some
to look a lot like the weekend. Ha ha! The Morning News with Webster and Nancy on WILK, now the two-time winner, the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters Award, and the two-time winner of the Pennsylvania Associated Press Broadcasters Association Award, promoting and advancing the craft and microbrew culture in Northeast Pennsylvania. This is another edition of
The Friday Beer Buzz!
And the Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza in Exeter, one of the area's greatest selections of rare, craft, and imported beers. Growlers and Crowlers, a hand pump.
Oh, my.
And 35 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bar and Bottle Shop, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter.
And when we did the Friday Beer Buzz cheer there,
yes.
I don't know if you noticed, I was just mouthing like vaguely sounds.
Blah, blah, blah,
something
blah,
like
blah.
that. Lindo Sabatini in the studio. Good morning, Lindo.
Good morning.
How are we doing today?
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic. It's Friday. You can't argue with that. How can you? You can't. Bill from mybeerbuzz.com.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
We have one tidbit of beer news that we would be remiss if we did not mention before we get our guest on the air. Our pal Mitch Steele, longtime show guest, many appearances on the show from Stone Brewing, has left Stone Brewing. It's been mysterious where he's going. We now have an address in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh.
So you can check out the details on mybeerbuzz.com. They're not saying the name of the brewery yet.
Beer play, or it's not a prison or anything?
You know.
Oh.
It's going to be a new brew pub kind of thing. He's got two partners with him. Can't think of their names right now, but it's going to be really nice. And so Mitch is going to land in Atlanta, Georgia.
Outstanding. Look forward to talking to him when that project starts to fly.
Stay tuned for details.
That's great.
We have a guest joining us on the phone from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from the St. Benjamin Brewing Company. Today we have Tim Patton. Welcome to the Friday Beer Buzz, Tim.
Patton.
Hey, good morning.
Tim, thanks for getting up for us this morning and drinking beer.
Oh, no problem.
So, what made you want to start a brew pub?
Well, I guess I just started homebrewing a good number of years ago when I got into craft beer, and just sort of person who likes to tinker with things. And I don't know, I guess I just was looking for a job, or a new kind of job where I worked with my hands a lot, talked to people a lot more, and brewing just kind of really fell into place for me.
Whenever we talk to somebody about, how did you get started, 99.9% they started home brewing. And when you started home brewing, did it feel like it was intuitive? Was it in the DNA? Like, was your first attempt like a home run? Or you go, I don't know.
I mean, my first attempt was decent. It was drinkable.
Ah.
I didn't throw it away.
Oh,
so
nice.
I think that's, probably about as good as I could have hoped for with, just learning how to do everything from a book.
Yeah, you're right.
And you started St. Benjamin on a relatively small system, right?
Yeah, originally it was a 3-barrel system, so essentially the equivalent of 6 kegs at a time.
And now you've upgraded. What size is the brew system now?
Well, now it's made in Germany, so it's metric. It's 10 hectoliters, which, actually, don't worry, I'm not going to make you do the math. That's 8.5 barrels, or I think it's about 240-some gallons.
Depending upon
per batch.
the beer. Yeah.
It's a good thing we didn't have to do the math, Tim, because we're from the radio, and it would have taken hours.
Well, Google does exist.
That's true.
So you don't have to work quite as hard as the old 3-barrel system. Are there challenges, Tim, ramping up from you were sort of very nano now to sort of micro? Are there challenges to doing that?
I actually would say that the bigger challenges were more going from my 5-gallon homebrew batches to a larger system. That's sort of where, really, the scaling isn't as linear. So, instead of just doubling or tripling the amount of hops, say, you really have to kind of do a lot of trial and error and some calculations. Plus, also just the jump from home brewer to professional. Like, you're working with, honestly, it's not even the brewing so much. It's like the process of the cleaning, the sanitizing, the fact that you're working with very different chemicals. That was really the big jump. Moving up to our new system, it was a huge learning curve because the old system was really manual. The new system's got some Star Trek control panel on it, but it did take a little bit.
You need to be part brewer, part biologist, part plumber, you need to have a lot of skills to do this, and so I give you a lot of credit for starting it out that way. We see the picture on the cans in front of us, but the people on the radio don't. Tell us where the name St. Benjamin came from.
Sure. So originally I was thinking of starting this as a really, really tiny project. Think a barrel-sized system, kind of like what Dogfish had started with. I was just going to start it in my garage, making, really small batches as a part-time thing. And my home where I live in Philadelphia actually was part of a firehouse in the 1820s. And I don't know, I wanted something that really referenced the city of Philadelphia, where I lived, where I planned on having the brewery. And, the idea of, something related to Benjamin Franklin just kind of struck home with his connection to the fire companies, the fact that he did have an interest in brewing and distilling. And then the same part was just sort of a tongue-in-cheek kind of reference to, the fact that he wasn't exactly a saint. But it's also a little bit of a nod to the Belgian Trappist breweries, which is what got me into craft beer to begin with.
So we can expect there to be a kite-flying Kolsch.
Nice.
That's everybody seems to know Ben Franklin from flying the kite.
Right.
Printing press Pilsner.
Yeah, lightning lager. Those ideas are free, Tim. You can do with them what you will.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what you say
stealing
now.
every one of them.
We're full of ideas
We're
here.
saving
believe
this
me.
tape.
Oh, yeah.
So location-wise, you guys are in a fairly historic building. Tell us about the building.
Yeah, so funny enough, we ended up moving the brewery into another carriage house, a much larger building than my garage. But and actually, it's a 3-story building, and it dates from about the 1880s. It was the carriage house and stables for a brewery in Philadelphia before Prohibition. They were a real minor player. It was called the Theo Finkenauer Lager Beer Company. There's 2 German brothers who started it. But, Prohibition did them in and never reopened afterwards. So the rest of the brewery's been demolished. We are the only building remaining from that complex.
When I woke up this morning, Tim, my biggest fear was trying to say Theo Finkenauer on the radio without having to hit our dump button. That's really...
Yeah, I've had a lot of practice.
So 3 stories. And any plans for the second and third floor?
Yeah, we definitely plan on adding more equipment. I mean, we have an open fermenter. We're probably going to do a little more, like get some more of those and work with those. That's kind of like what a lot of Belgian breweries as well as Anchor use for brewing their beer. Obviously, we need more. You always need more storage space at a brewery, and it'll be give us more space when we finally do decide to add our own bottling or canning line.
And so when you come to the brewery, I know you guys have food and you can get pints and fill growlers, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, we have a full kitchen, so you can come in and get, sandwich or an entree. We have 12 beers on draft plus a beer engine, and we also have Pennsylvania wine, cider, and even spirits.
Wow.
Nice.
Jeez.
Well, we'll
3 right down.
We have 3 beers sitting here in front of us, and before we start to get tight on time, let's work through these beers, and we've already started enjoying them, I got to admit, Tim. But our first one is Wit or Wit Out. This is a Belgian white ale kind of style. Tell us about the name first, and then let's talk about the beer.
Sure. Well, the name for anyone whoever comes down this way, that is sort of the classic way to order a cheesesteak.
With or without?
With or without. Yeah. So it was just a little play on words. Since obviously the brewing industry is very punny. But yeah, that really it was just meant to be just a classic Belgian wit beer. We have the spices and the orange that are pretty traditional in it. The only thing we do is ours is just a little more tart than is typical.
Yeah.
But that was just to make it a little, kind of a really refreshing drink.
And there's no cheese in this beer, right?
Absolutely not.
This is Wit Out. This beer is 5.2% ABV. It is packaged in a 12-ounce can, which I think is a wonderful packaging for beers like this. A great summer beer, really, really drinkable, and it has that classic Belgian wit flavors to it. A really nice beer. We also have another one here that I find the style interesting, and I know you guys like bending styles quite a bit. This one's called Inca. Tell us first about the name, because the name leads us into what the beer is itself.
Yeah, so Inca is what we call an India cream ale. It was an experiment at the brewery where we ended up adding a lot more bittering and then a lot of dry hops to what would normally be just a traditional cream ale, which is, really just smooth drinking American style that it's sort of, in the same kind of category as like a Pilsner or a Kolsch, where it's just meant to be a light, pale, easy drinking beer. Ours is a little more hopped up, just with some real citrusy hops from the West Coast. So originally we actually had the name Inca as like an acronym, but that wasn't working too well. People kept spelling it out for us, so we just decided to abbreviate it since, cream ale also uses corn, so kind of having the nod to, the Americas right there in the name.
You guys must not be drinking when you're actually thinking up names, because these names make some complete sense.
Well, it's a mix. It takes all kinds of things to get a good beer name.
This is Simcoe and cluster hops, and an interesting bend on sort of a cream ale style, and I think people will. People that are familiar with, there are a lot of cream ales that people have grown up with. People that are familiar with a cream ale, this is sort of one of those gateway beers where you might lean some people into a friendly style to them and get them interested in a little more hops. This one is 5.4% ABV, so it's not going to kick your butt. Again, packaged in a 12-ounce can, and I think a really nice, easy drinking beer. Our third one is called Franklin's Abbey, and Franklin's Abbey is a Belgian triple. I always love the ones that are bottled in a cork and cage, big 750 bottle here. We've popped it, we've poured it. Tell us about Franklin's Abbey Triple.
Sure, yeah. So the Franklin's Abbey is actually a series that we do of Belgian beers. We just started doing it not even a year ago. Essentially, because the Belgian Trappist beers are what got me into craft beer and into brewing, I really wanted to wait until we were really set up and ready to go before I did any of those styles. But the triple's the first one we bottled. We've also done things like a double, a Belgian pale, and a Belgian stout. But yeah, the triple is meant to be just really, even though it's like 9.2, 9.3%, it's meant to be, really light, really effervescent. You're supposed to get a lot of yeast aroma. It's not, it's just a very balanced hop level, not too bitter, not too sweet. It's supposed to be a dry beer.
And this one's a little bit sneaky. Like you said, 9.3% ABV. It doesn't feel it. It doesn't have that booziness to it. But this one will sneak up and get you if you're not careful. Where can people find St. Benjamin beers, Tim?
At the moment, we self-distribute in Philadelphia and as well as Delaware County, Chester, Bucks, and Montgomery. We are looking at getting into Berks and Reading counties, and then we have distribution in South Jersey, so everywhere from like the Cherry Hill area all the way out to Cape May and Atlantic City.
Nice.
We're enjoying Franklin's Abbey, the triple, the Inca Cream Ale, and the Wit or Wit Out,
yeah.
which I like the tartness, by the way. You know what? It's pretty cool, and a Wit. There are three great beers here, Tim. Thank you very much for being on our show this morning. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks. Tim Patton, he's the owner brewmaster at St. Benjamin Brewing.
The WILK Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza in Exeter, one of the area's greatest selections of rare, craft, and imported beers. Growlers and Crowlers, a hand pump, and 35 rotating drafts, all at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bar and Bottle Shop, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter.
The Friday Beer Buzz, bringing good beers and good people together.